Welcome to the Agility in Real Life podcast, Take 5 in Real Life. Now your hosts, Mike Studeman, Jeff Lee, and Pat Campbell.
Hello, and welcome back to the Take5IRL podcast from Agility IRL. We have all three of us today. I'm Jeff Lee, one of the partners.
I'm Mike Studeman, another partner.
And Pat Campbell, third but not last.
Yeah, so we have the trifecta today, another episode of Shit We Hate About Agile. So we're tossing it over to Mike to introduce today's topic.
Yeah, so just to reset for our audience, we started this series. I think the rules we set up, and we own the rules, so we can change them. We're self-managing. But I think the rules are I gotta give you what I hate. I got to give you or why I hate it, and then I got to give you an alternative. Hold me accountable there, gentlemen.
Sounds appropriate.
If it was the same rules or different rules, like you said, we're making up the game as we play it. So let's
Very
go.
good, very good. All right. So my topic for today is story points.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I got a good reaction here. Okay, here's why I hate them. I think they were created for a good reason. I think the theory behind them is solid. You know, the idea that it needs to be good enough to estimate. I think our application of them in most teams, in fact, I'm not sure I've ever seen a team use them well, but I'll go with most teams, to use a technical term, sucks. They're constantly compared to hours. They're converted to hours. People misunderstand them. People say that they're required in Scrum. They're required in other frameworks. So my proposed alternative, and then I'll let you guys comment. My proposed alternative is if you're going to equate them to hours, just use hours. Let's just throw it out. So I'll stop there. Pat, Jeff, your thoughts?
Well, this topic is big enough to drive a truck through when it comes to issues and shit we hate about Agile. I think your point is spot on, Mike. I think it's a good idea gone really bad. It's really about relative sizing is what we're trying to do.
Mhm.
Story points was a tool. The tool ended up being the objective, and all sorts of bad stuff resulted from that. And if we got back to relative sizing, there's actually theory and practice behind that makes sense. But no, here we are with story points and a long trail of dead stories and bodies.
Yeah, Jeff, what are your thoughts?
I love relative sizing. I really do. I think it's very effective and helps teams to really embrace and communicate the uncertainty in their estimates.
Mm-hmm.
The practice, like you guys have said, is just something different than that. People are tying it to hours. Actually, I just had a conversation this week with a new group I'm working with who told me one of their issues is to not understanding how to reconcile developer story points with tester story points for the same user story. Yes. So on the plus side, right, this employs us because we can help. On the negative side, it's hard to get people to let go of these ideas.
Yeah, I reacted viscerally to that because that's one of the reasons why I want to throw it overboard. I'm tired of having those conversations, and this is probably a better conversation to have over an adult beverage. But do you think we'll ever get rid of our attachment to hours and wanting to put hours to story points? Do you think we'll ever break that?
Not as long as we have average or sub-average coaches out there still trying to teach how these story points are supposed to work. Unfortunately, you're right, Jeff. It keeps us employed. The bad news is it keeps a lot of bad coaches employed as well. And so, I think that's why teams like our own are trying to move away from that and start to focus more on, work complete in the use of flow metrics instead of story points. Story points was, again, a tool to help teams figure out what can we fit in a sprint reasonably using relative sizing. It's a team's tool. And now it's metastasized into, here's how we're going to measure teams across the entire organization. How is their velocity? And talk about, metastasizing. That's a cancer that's just spread wildly.
Pat, you're shooting bullets here on this episode, taking shots at coaches and talking about story points as cancer. Jeff, we might have to duck here.
Yeah, there's a lot of directions to go off of that. I think part of the problem as well, and I'm still focused on the problem, not the solution, but part of the problem is people take little bits of information and apply it in the wrong way, right? People talk about the Scaled Agile framework says that one story point is so many hours, and that's just wrong. There's guidance out there as if you don't know what to do, here's a way to get started, and then throw it away. And people don't throw it away; they latch onto it.
Yeah, well, I think we've beaten this victim enough.
Oh, there's more, Mike.
Oh yeah, remember that truck I talked about?
Right.
We're only on the right side of the front cab, so.
I agree, but this is called the Take5IRL podcast, right? And, well, any final advice? I would sum it up. I think, Pat, you said, well, maybe it was Jeff. We need to use, if you're going to use relative sizing, use it as it was intended. If you are starting out and you want some guidance around what a point means, use it as guidance, but then throw it away. And if you're still trying to associate points and hours, let's look at an alternative like flow metrics. Let's just throw that out. Is that a fair summary of kind of our advice?
Yeah, I think so. I know we've covered this in past episodes. In the comments, we can put a link to how to apply story points well, because I'm sure it exists out there. But yeah, there are other approaches, right? If you can't apply it well, and honestly, you don't have to use story points even if you do it well, right? You can do it perfectly and decide something else is better. Flow metrics is a perfect example. We have a lot of episodes on that recorded very recently with the two of you. So that's a very good alternative.
Pat, any final words?
I would simply add the bullet. If you want some help with that, give us a call.
Brought to you by the shameless promotions department at Agility IRL. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me rant today. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And join us on another episode of Take5IRL, brought to you by Agility IRL.
And have a wonderful point-free weekend.
Sounds great. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Take5IRL podcast. If you like it, please go ahead and share it with someone, as well as like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Also, leave us a comment or a suggestion for a future episode. Again, thanks for listening, and we look forward to you joining us next time on the Take5IRL podcast.